I've got idea man. You take me for a walk under the sycamore tree.
And welcome to Twin Peaks Unwrapped. I'm your host, Ben Durant, and beside me is...
Bryon Gazaska.
Hey, Bryon.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Good. What are we doing today?
Well, finally, this is one of the days I've been waiting for, because today we're going to cover the Twin Peaks, the complete mystery box set. I finally got to sit down and spend almost an entire afternoon watching the stuff I didn't watch when I watched the show, rewatching stuff that I'd already seen, but I think I can appreciate it more. To end the episode off, we're going to be talking about In Between Two Worlds. And I think that's sort of like the jewel of this box set.
Yeah, besides the Fire Walk With Me and the deleted scenes, that was a big thing. It's so funny, like I was holding out for us to talk about that, the Between Two Worlds, but I didn't realize, Bryon, that you weren't watching the rest of this stuff because you weren't sure we were going to talk about it. So there was a lot of stuff that, even though we had gone through the whole show, that you were still holding out in case we were going to get to it at some point. Extras and stuff.
Yeah. So today's episode, we're going to focus on the box set, and I highly recommend, if you're a Twin Peaks fan, you have to have this in your collection. And if you don't, perfect Christmas present.
It really is.
It's a lot cheaper than it was when we bought it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a lot cheaper.
I actually think they just repackaged it. I don't know if they dropped a...
They dropped a disc.
Now, when they drop the disc, does that mean there's less content, or did they just cram it into another...
Less content. I looked into that. They dropped one of the discs. Yeah, you're missing some stuff.
I mean, it's cheaper. I think it's like going to be $50 or somewhere around there, and I'm sure with holiday prices it might even go down more. But to lose content, that's not cool.
Yeah, I looked into that. I believe there is content missing. Needless to say, get yourself the complete mystery. You don't want to be left out in the cold, folks. We're going to go disc by disc. So, Ben, I sat down, and I was like, I'm going to put each disc in and just see what nuggets come out of each disc.
Okay.
So the first disc, the pilot, the international pilot, and really that's about it. And I think
they had them Log Lady intros, and they had, if you consider those extras, previews and recaps. But there wasn't really much more than that.
Yeah, so there was but for people who haven't watched the international version, I mean, it's a story that I think you've told on this show plenty of times, and I think most people know about it. So I don't think we need to get into it really. I mean, it was created just because, well, in case the show doesn't pick up, here's an ending.
Right, so they were getting money from another company, and the deal is because they were getting that money that they needed to have a complete ending.
As I'm getting into this box set, they said, though, this is interesting. Without them saying we needed an ending for the international pilot, we would not have had the Red Room. I mean, the Red Room came out of that, and that's so cool. What if the pilot was picked up and there was no ending?
Right.
I feel like the Red Room would have happened, but maybe differently.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about the European pilot. For the longest time, we didn't have access to the original pilot. Like, it was always a European version. So back in the day when Twin Peaks first came out, they had it on VHS. They only had the European version that you could get. You couldn't see the last end with at the time you didn't know, but Jacoby pulling out the necklace out of the ground.
Yeah.
And so you always had this ending where you find out who the killer is. So that was always messed up. And then I think even like when they were putting out DVDs, they still didn't have it. So it was a long time till we actually finally got the original pilot available.
Wow,
so,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's very
It's all
bizarre.
about right.
But I don't think it ever gave away the killer.
Only in the sense that if you believe Bob was the killer, because he says he was in the European version, he's got the circle of candles, and he basically said,
"Catch you with my death bag." The letters. What were the letters going to spell? Robert. That's my proper name. Teresa's was with the T. That's right. You may think I'd gone insane, but I promise I will kill again.
You're right, because we don't know what Bob is. We don't know
Right.
that Bob is a demonic entity or a real person.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he's from the Red Room and
Right.
yada yada yada. But you're right. So it would lead you to believe this Bob character would have been the killer, if nothing else.
Right.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So that was disc 1. What do we got for disc 2?
So disc 2, we have season 1 photos. Now these are behind the scene pictures, which some interesting ones, like there's a picture of Bob smoking, like the guy, what's his name? The guy who plays Bob?
Frank Silva.
Frank Silva is sitting there smoking a cigarette, which is very cool. A lot of the photos, I actually looked at every photo, and a lot of these photos you can't find online. Mm-hmm. Just special scenes, behind the scene photos of them.
Yeah.
David
It's also
Lynch
kind of like
everything.
having this whole collection in one place. It's
Yeah.
all part of this package. You don't have to go searching for it. You just know, hey, on my Blu-ray, I've got pictures, deleted scenes, all this stuff all in one place.
Exactly. But the Bob smoking, that stood out. Then there's picnic pictures of Laura and Donna fooling around, which is really entertaining with them eating. I was looking at the picnic, what they brought on this picnic, and there was a gigantic cake. Like a gigantic, like, what? Who put the huge cake?
Right.
And then there was pictures of James being all depressed, sitting with his motorcycle on the cliff.
Yeah.
So emo, James. So like, I'm so sad. I'm in love with 2 girls, and
My life is so hard.
all right. I gotta take this motorcycle and go out of town.
Yeah.
Then these are interesting. There are ski trip photos of Laura and Audrey Horn looking cool and sexy. That's it. But like, I know these photos are supposed to be like tacked on, like
Yep.
in the background, but they look so like forced. They look so kind of like they're posing for.
Oh yeah.
They don't look natural. Like,
And
if
I
you-
think Laura and Audrey picture might have been on Benjamin Horn's desk or something.
Yeah,
Or,
I think
we do
so.
see it in the series, I think.
So it's supposed to be them skiing, but
Right.
it's just them posing in front of a wall.
That's
And
funny.
yeah, it's cool.
Maybe that's why it wasn't used.
Yeah, it didn't look right.
Too staged, maybe. Yeah.
Now, these are kind of cool. They have promos on here. Now, the promos, there's a recap before season 2. In the summertime, it said, rewatch season 1
Yes.
before season 2. So they re-aired all of season 1 before season 2.
Yes, and so here's what I think. I hate thinking that this has happened to me, but I think I didn't watch it when it originally aired the first time in the spring. I might have actually heard all the hype and probably not gotten to it till the summer. I might have gone right from season 1 to season 2. I remember them
There's nothing
re-airing
wrong with
it.
that.
Yeah, but I kind of want to be in the experience from day one. But yeah, so they definitely ran it all through the summer, and I think right away they were going into season 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Because, I mean, Twin Peaks was a highly talked about show, and you don't see that very often on a network
Yeah.
to rerun something in the summertime to get you hyped for the new season.
Right. Well, back in the day, they used to do. I think they did used to do that back in the
But
day.
networks don't do that
No, they don't.
anymore.
I mean,
Networks
now we
don't
have
do that.
streaming, and there's so many other ways.
Yeah.
Now they rely. I mean, they rely on DVD and Blu-ray for. Hey, I need to catch up. I'm gonna go buy.
They always release the last
Right.
season right before the new season
Yeah.
starts. That's their new.
Right.
You're right.
Even like Netflix now does that. Like we're into Bates Motel or something like that.
They'll put
Netflix
last
drops
seasons.
it right before the new season starts.
Exactly. Yeah, so-
the model's just changed. But back in the day, they did do.
You wanna
I
rely
remember
on the
days
network
that-
to do
right,
it. Yeah.
I remember back in the days that the summers was to watch the whole season back again. And yeah.
And in the summertime on network television, this is going to blow people's minds because it's something I barely remember. Well, I do. I mean, I remember it, but it's so long ago. Like, summertime was reruns.
Yes.
They got rid of that model. It is now reality shows,
Right.
new shows, and then the new shows start. They don't generally put reruns on in the summertime
I think
anymore.
it shows like The Dome on CBS. That was a summer show. And then,
Yeah.
now television has just changed. Now we have fall shows. We have winter shows.
Yeah.
Spring shows,
summer.
and then summer shows. So we have like all the seasons. We
Yep.
have the shows now. Yeah.
Back in the day, it was just September to May.
Right.
And that was it. And
Yeah.
then summertime was dead.
I think they're probably trying to somewhat compete with cable now. I
And
mean,
streaming and cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have our attentions more. There's a Where Am I promo. Twin Peaks moved to Wednesdays for the season finale.
Diane, it's 9:02 and I can't find Twin Peaks. At 8:57, I entered the Double R Diner for the Double Java Hold the Cow special, and when I returned, it was gone. The irony here is not lost. I have searched diligently for 6 weeks to find Laura's murderer, and now Twin Peaks is missing. My dream revealed that its new location begins with the letter W, which would make Wednesday an obvious choice, but What about Walla Walla?
The season finale of Twin Peaks, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central.
If Twin Peaks has moved to Wednesday, Diane, one question remains. Where am I?
Walla Walla. Because it goes, I think it starts with a W. Walla Walla or Wednesday. So like
funny.
Twin Peaks had moved.
They were on Thursdays up against Cheers, and then I think for the season finale they moved to Walla Walla.
Walla Walla. Disc 3. Now this is an interesting little bit. I really enjoyed it. A slice of Lynch. Uncut. Was that a play in words? Because a slice of pie is uncut. I mean, I don't know.
Now is this Lynch?
Machen Amick, Kyle MacLachlan, and John Wentworth.
Mm-hmm.
He was David Lynch's assistant. The one thing I noticed is David Lynch, and he's sitting there, and this woman walks over as a waitress. She's wearing a Sparkwood and 21 shirt. I
Nice.
paused it. That's a Sparkwood and 21 shirt.
Very cool.
That's a very cool little Easter egg.
Some of these extras were on the gold box. So this would be one of them that was originally on the gold box, but now it's an HD and it's saying uncut. I can't remember what's different about it. Like, it'd be interesting to bring up the old one and see, is there really that many differences?
You know, I noticed the audio was off on it, though, at times.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because there is a complaint about this Blu-ray set that some people have experienced audio problems with it. And that's unfortunate. Either I'm not paying attention enough or I've just been lucky and I haven't seen really that many problems with it.
During the uncut, it's multi-camera,
Yeah.
and it looks like sometimes some of the cameras, their mouths are just a couple frames off.
Yeah.
And then it'll go to a different camera, and it looks fine.
And I don't think it's the actual production of it, like the recording or the video, I mean, of putting it together. I think it's the disc.
Yeah,
There's something
something
wrong
weird.
with the disc. Yeah.
So that's a great interview, and I highly recommend it. Lynch does talk about meeting Mark Frost. Mark Frost is the book The Goddess, the Marilyn Monroe bio.
They wrote that. They were going to write that together.
Yeah, and then it really there's some that was like one of the interesting nuggets in there, and then how Twin Peaks was going to be called Northwest Passage in North Dakota, or that was the working title. It sounded like that was just like a placeholder title, maybe.
Yeah.
They also talk about how he calls Kyle MacLachlan Kale.
And Kale, your full name is Kyle MacLachlan, but I call you Kale. And I remember why I call you Kale. Dino De Laurentiis could never pronounce Kyle's name. He called him Kale.
Yep.
And so I started calling him Kyle Kale, and that's the way it's been for years and years and years.
He introduces everybody, and he says Machen Amick, Machen.
Yeah.
He was mispronouncing her name, and she even talks about how he was mispronouncing her name for so long that she's like, oh no, I should correct him. And she goes to correct him, and he goes, oh, I know. And then Kyle MacLachlan would say Kale, and then John Wentworth, he calls him JW.
Yeah.
So he seems like he has a nickname for everybody.
Yep.
Something that's just fun. How Kyle MacLachlan got into Twin Peaks, how Machen got into acting, which is an interesting story.
They're at a bar, is that what you'd say?
Yeah, they're at a bar, and he's drinking coffee, and he smokes a cigarette, and they're all drinking coffee.
Yeah.
It's
good to
cool.
see. And this location, they will reuse this location where this was shot for Between Two Worlds. So when we get that, so this was originally shot, I mean, it would be like 7 years before they did the Blu-ray, they did the gold box.
Okay, yeah. And it's kind of in that same vein as in Between Two Worlds. It's interesting, he asked everybody's favorite moment. His favorite moment of Twin Peaks is getting to kiss Machen Amick. And then when he asked Machen Amick what her favorite part is,
yes,
she kissing David Lynch. And I think that's so sweet.
And I got to kiss you, Madgen.
I know. I feel honored.
I feel, are you kidding me? One of the highlights of my life. And I remember thinking, how sick is this? Writing that into it so I could kiss Madgen.
But still, the pen kept.
Yeah, it was automatic writing.
Automatic writing.
Coming.
For me, it was,
How many takes did we have to do with that?
a lot.
So-
We had to do a lot. We had to get it just right. There was focus problems.
Yeah, I
There was
know.
battery problems. There was always something going on. No, I felt honored that Agent Cole could only hear one person on this earth, and it was Shelley Johnson. That just was my favorite moment of all during the whole
Right,
series.
right.
And how Gordon Cole came to be. Sunset Boulevard was a character of Sunset Boulevard. I'm sure you told us. And then how there's a street called Gordon coal in their intersecting streets. So that was really cool. They were forced upon giving us the killer. Like, his biggest regret, tell us who the killer was. He seemed almost like when he says it, you could see on his look on his face, he's just like, they were just kind of forced into this box, and he really didn't want to go down there. He described Laura's mystery as the tree, and everybody was the branches. And once he said that mystery was solved, that kind of fell for him. It wasn't his favorite thing.
And I totally get where he's coming from, that like that kind of held everything together. I guess I disagree, and it's funny because Mark Frost for the longest time disagreed with him, but over the years he now kind of agrees more with Lynch. But I still disagree because like I don't think we ever would have found out who killed Laura Palmer. We wouldn't have got the amazing last episode 29, that whole stuff. So we would have missed out on so much, because if they had just kept on going, ABC would have canceled them, and we would have all been outraged and been like, who killed Laura Palmer? So it's kind of like, I'm glad, it's the one time where I'm glad the network forced them to reveal it, because we got good reveal of who killed Laura Palmer. And
and if you think about it, David Lynch is so used to making his own movies, he doesn't have to explain anything. And you're on a TV show, and I totally agree with you, what you're saying. Like, we understand this is what you would do in a movie, but this is more than just you. I think a TV show takes on a life of its own. If you don't give a good payback to the audience, they'll abandon you eventually. But just the look on his face when he said it, he just seemed kind of,
right. And you know that he wasn't done telling the Laura Palmer story, and that's why when it came time for Fire Walk with Me, he wanted to go back to the Laura Palmer stories.
JW, it's one of his assistants at the time, and he did Foley. And he did, like, sound mixing. And he explained the whole schedule, like, crazy scheduling, 7 days almost of just one episode, next episode.
Wow.
And they asked about his favorite part, and his favorite part was he'd go out with the microphone and just record the wind. And then he said when he got to watch the episode and he heard the wind, for some reason that was like, this is something really cool. Like, because he was out there laying on the ground with a microphone, and then he got to hear it in the mix, and he said it really like, wow, this is really cool. So that's
awesome.
Cool little stories. And they asked David Lynch his favorite moment, and he had 7 words. I love Twin Peaks and its world. And I think that's something that echoes now, because that's why he's coming back with season 3. It's like he loves that world. And
I feel like he's always loved that world. I think some people thought he was sick of it, but I think he's always loved that world. I think when he built his website there, davidlynch.com, and it was the paid membership, there was little sprinkles of Twin Peaks in there, and I think he always loved it, and I'm glad that he's returning to it.
Round off this, we have promos. We have the Wizard of Oz promo, which we've aired on the show. You can hear David Lynch say cut and everything. That was a promo that go to Saturdays to Thursdays.
Yes, so I mean, I think some of the blame was they felt like the ratings had gone down because they had moved from most of the season on first season on Thursdays to Saturdays on the second season.
Diane, Thursdays at 9, 8 Central. There's no place like home.
No place like home.
And then there was Twin Peaks Sheriff Department shirts promo.
Hello, Mr. Gerard.
I need to see Sheriff Truman.
Are you here to sell him some more shoes?
Much more important, it's the official Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department T-shirts.
Did you buy a shirt?
I have a shirt, but I don't think I had the sheriff's shirt. I had another shirt.
So it's Mike. Mike comes into the police station.
Yes,
selling
Lucy's
his shoes.
there.
Lucy's there, and he goes, I need to sell shoes, but I also have these Twin Peaks Sheriff shirts.
I don't even remember that commercial. I don't even remember seeing it.
The quality's horrible. It's like a VHS recorded off a TV quality. The Xmas greeting, which we played last Christmas.
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho. Season's greetings from Agent Cooper and the gang. And all those Douglas firs up here in Twin Peaks.
I've heard that audio because of this show, but I never saw it. And it's just like a bunch of ornaments.
Animated.
And they're just spinning around. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon bumper.
I've seen it. It's like, is that really, did they really do that?
Yeah, they did. They did it. They really did it. It's cool. I liked it. Then they have the Middle East promo where they're saying like,
Special Agent Dale Cooper here, sending out a great big hello from everyone at Twin Peaks to all the Allied forces out there in the Middle East. We want you to know that you're missed, you're loved. I want you to come home soon.
Here's your pie, Agent Cooper.
Well, thanks, Shelley. Say hello to the Allied forces out there in the Middle East.
Hi, guys. Keep doing a great job.
Good work.
And from the crew as well.
And you've got Cooper and you've got
Shelley.
Shelley, and yeah, they're just hanging out. Oh, and Bobby's in the background
Yes.
into them and stuff. And they're, yeah, it's a greetings to the troops, which is really cool because this is the first Gulf War is at this time, 91.
And that's a bit of history right there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Cooper gives the thumbs up.
Yes.
And it's like that's like.
And you see the photo of Cooper and Shelley giving thumbs
Yeah,
up
we've seen
everywhere,
that. Right.
And
You
you're
know-
like, that never happens in the show.
Right,
But
and you
it
don't know what the context of it is. Like, what was the point of that? And then to find out, right, it's part of this commercial.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. And then this was cool. They had season 2 pictures that Albert would have taken, like pictures of the hair, just like evidence.
This would have been his findings from his autopsies or whatever he was investigating. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. You get to see those.
Yeah.
So that takes us on to disc 4. Deleted scenes and outtakes. This is a deleted scene, which was kind of cool. It was there wasn't really that
There wasn't
many-
much.
Yeah, it's so disappointing.
Right.
Like,
And there is more out there. I know there's more out there. I don't know if they were able to get them or what the deal was,
That's
but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more out
really?
there. Yeah.
I have to search. So the best deleted scene, there's 2 deleted scenes that I wanted to highlight. Cooper, this is when they're going to the town hall for the mayor. The mayor's going to have about
right.
Laura's dead and everything.
Yes. Is this thing working? Is this thing on?
Yes. Which I realized that was a callback
Yes.
in the episode with episode 28.
Cooper and Annie are dancing, and the mayor shows up on the stage.
Yes.
And yes, it's a callback all the way to the pilot.
Wow.
Very
I was
cool.
like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen these in pictures, but this is an actual gazebo right here in your city square. This is beautiful. You bet. You know, I'm from Philadelphia. And a thing like...
Cooper, you're gonna make us late for that meeting.
This is a bear carved from Douglas fir.
Yes, it is.
Take, for instance, these hedges.
Cooper.
These are very meticulously made.
Cooper, old buddy.
He's like, this is you know what this is, Harry? And he was like, it's a gazebo. He's like, we don't have these in Pennsylvania.
Oh, man.
It made Cooper seem almost like too naive.
Yeah, I mean, I like it was like, oh, ducks on the lake. I mean, that's cool, but I don't know if
Yeah,
I care for like a gazebo.
Gazebo?
It's like saying a stop sign.
Yeah,
I
right?
don't
I'm like,
know.
the
It's
guy, come on now.
I don't know. It's not that exciting. What always fascinated him was about nature, and these type of things aren't nature. They're like objects.
The stuff that interests me was the Johnny Horn stuff. Johnny Horn's acting this way because Audrey threw him down the stairs, and Jacoby's like, no, it's not because of that.
And Audrey left by that point, so she never even heard Jacoby say that. So that was interesting. I mean, I think we've talked about this before. There was a whole storyline where it looked like Johnny maybe had the secrets to who killed Laura Palmer, and if you could...
I think I thought that too. I think that was like a theory I had.
Yeah,
maybe.
but I think that was really what they were going for. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't needed. I think I was intrigued by Audrey and maybe the issues that she has. Like, it's interesting to see, like, maybe she acts out and maybe she acts the way she does is because all the attention's on her brother, but now she has this guilt of finding out that maybe she caused it, which she didn't, but she missed that. But now maybe she's going to change because of this whole thing.
And you know, Audrey had the most, over the course of the season, I think she had one of the most dramatic changes in character development.
Yeah, from one
she,
season to the next, yeah.
She went from like this, I'm going to mess around with people just because I can, to this, I want to be a businesswoman.
Right. And I think that has to do with Sherilyn Fenn. I think Sherilyn Fenn had a lot to say about that, which I kind of missed the playful Audrey in the second season. But I mean, she still did a great job as businesswoman Audrey. They didn't have Invitation to Love on there, did they?
No.
Because I've seen the outtakes of that. That would have been a great thing to have. They didn't have Mark Frost as the reporter.
Nope.
These are two things that I would like to see deleted scenes of. I've seen them before, but it would be great to have them on there.
Are they an Easter egg on this thing? Because I looked for Easter eggs. I couldn't find it.
Oh, there are some Easter eggs.
So we're going to go to disc 5. This is an interesting documentary. Return to Twin Peaks Festival. Our friend that we met at the Great Southerns in it, Chris Matthews.
Yes, he's been at several festivals.
He was Party Time Leo Johnson. And I videotaped it on my phone, and I sent him out. I sent it to him on Facebook. And I'm
Did
like,
he comment? Did he say
yes.
it? Yeah.
I go, Chris, it's you. I found you. It's so cool. I watched this documentary way back when we started doing the show. And then I watched it now, and I'm like, wow. Even though I don't know some of these people, I recognize them on Facebook.
Isn't that something?
Isn't it crazy?
It is.
And Chris Matthews, I was like, oh my God, I know him. That's awesome.
That was really cool.
And How cool is it? You don't see on a show like this, a national show to put on a DVD, a festival documentary. Yeah, it's so cool. Then you have the location guide, which is really cool. It's a map. They give you the map and the addresses for all the major places in Twin Peaks. And it's so cool laid out. You click on it. The guy who does a narration who's interviewed during the festival, he gives you a rundown of where this location was and how to get to it. Then you have the Glastonbury Archives. Now, why do they call it the Glastonbury Archives?
Well, Glastonbury is where the sycamore trees are. It's the whole...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know... There was a whole Glastonbury website that archived this stuff. I didn't know if that's what they were referring to or they're just using it as Glastonbury, where the sycamore trees are.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure. So you have the woman, Pat, who had owned the diner, the Double R. She talks about the pies. It's really cool, fascinating. There's an interview with Mark Frost by John Thorne and his partner.
Right, Craig did, right? Craig Miller.
Yup, wrapped in plastic. And it's an interesting history lesson. We've talked about it on the show. We've had John Thorne on the show multiple times. He talks about this, how they had to reshoot their stuff because of copyright content behind them.
Yeah.
So they had to pretend they're re-talking to Mark Frost.
It's unfortunate.
But it's such a good interview.
Yeah, it is.
It's cool.
And I think it really is a little bit of history for us to actually, these guys did amazing work.
Yeah.
For, all those years that they did. Is it 13 years or something like that they did? And to have 75 issues of Wrapped in Plastic, and to know that they're part of the archive of Twin Peaks. They're part of the legacy, I guess.
That is really cool. And that's why John Thorne is the godfather.
He is the godfather
of Twin Peaks. Then, one of the most interesting extras on this disc, learning to speak in the Red Room with Mike.
Yep.
Little Mike there.
Michael Anderson.
He's on this really bad, cheesy green screen. And I'm assuming he filmed this at his house because he has a YouTube page where he's in front of green screen. It's really bad. And he teaches you how to speak backwards.
Let's rock, Carstel.
It's very good. Yeah, and he did this at a young age. I don't remember if it was in high school or where he learned to speak backwards. Because I remember when Lynch was saying, hey, we're going to do this whole Red Room sequence, and we're going to try having you speak backwards. It's like, I already do that. And it's like, and that made Lynch happy to know that, hey, we don't have to teach you. You know how to. He would teach other cast members how to do that to prepare for the Red Room.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's cool. And then there's a segment called Intro to David Lynch. And this is really sweet. It's the mind of David Lynch through friends and cast members. Catherine Coulson's on there, and it's really cool to see her. And really interesting stories about how they met David Lynch. And back in the day, you had a thing called a bumper between the show and the commercial, which you generally don't have anymore. You don't see those that much.
Not really. They don't have it. Yeah.
So they call Lucy bumpers, and it's between the show and the commercials where Lucy's like,
time for a cup of joe and a donut. Twin Peaks will be right back.
Have another donut. We'll be back with Twin Peaks. And she's like, oh, that donut was good.
Yeah.
Back to Twin Peaks. And now that takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
I think you fade to black commercial, go back to black show.
Right.
You don't really see bumpers anymore.
But they're funny. It's funny to have her speaking and saying,
Do you remember those when watching the show?
I do remember those.
Did they put, were they like every commercial break or just kind of once in a while?
I mean, they were definitely in every show. I don't think they were probably in every commercial break.
Yeah.
But they were probably like maybe the halfway through point where they'd be like, oh yeah, we're still still doing the show here, but we'll be right back. But yeah, every show definitely had at least once that they had these bumpers.
And Twin Peaks was an hour-long show, so if you put a bumper at the half-hour mark and people are flipping channels between their shows and they saw that bumper, I guess that would be more of an identification that the show is still on.
Yeah,
check
so
it
maybe
out.
that's why I did it. And it's funny to think back in the day, we're talking 91, where you couldn't fast forward. You couldn't really, you couldn't fast forward with a DVR, and
you're stuck.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck. I mean, you could flip the channel, I guess, but I have a DVR, and I'm just so used to just fast forwarding when I can if I started the show late or something. Like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the 1-900 promo ads.
Yeah,
with all the Sheriff, which we aired on this show.
Yep.
We have more production images and stills. There's Richard Beamer gallery. Now, John Thorne has told us there is a lot more.
Yeah, so these images were like the last week of production of the last episode. There was no longer press or person taking pictures, so he asked if he could, and he just took all these pictures.
Amazing
There
photos.
were something else. I'm really hoping someday Richard Beamer will do like a coffee table book. I think that would be awesome to have all these photos in like a coffee table book that you could just take out and look in.
Oh,
I mean, I know that a lot of them are available. You can probably find them online, or you have them on the Blu-ray. But there's something about actually having a book to actually open up and look at them, and maybe you could share.
Yeah, right now it'd be like Twin Peaks, the coffee table book with all those photos, a little description.
That would be something.
Yeah, it would be amazing. And then there's unit stills, and then the Twin Peaks cards, which you can
the
look
pick
through.
cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that takes us to disc 6. This is an interesting disc because it has a thing called postcards from the cast. And it's basically the cast just giving little stories of being on Twin Peaks. Nothing fantastic. I mean, they're interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
But you almost feel like when I was listening to them, I'm like, oh, I've heard a lot of these stories already.
Yep.
Then you have promos. The promos, Twin Peaks going to Saturdays. It's like you're watching the history unfold here.
Yes.
That takes us to disc 7. Disc 7 has a lot of interesting stuff. There's a thing called cast where it's origin, production, and legacy. And it's on a grid.
Yes.
So you can say Dave Duchovny, production. You click it, and it'd be like a minute long, him talking about him dressing up as Denise.
Yes.
And you just watch these clips, or you can watch them all.
This section came from season 2 DVD. So
Really?
There was the season 2 DVD set, and then there was the gold box, and then now there's the Blu-ray. So this is like two DVDs back, or
Oh my
back.
God.
So, and you can tell the quality is not as quite as good. The grid, I don't think the images aren't as sharp, and the quality.
It looked a lot to me like they were all in hotels. Everybody was like in a hotel. Like Dave Duchovny was outside of a hotel window. A lot of these people looked like they were probably on location somewhere else filming something.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave Duchovny was doing another show. But everybody looked like they were in hotels. Then we go to crew interviews, and this is really cool. I just want to go through some of the people. The most fascinating one to me was Jennifer Lynch.
I was called at my home and asked to meet my father and Mark Frost at Mark's house. I was brought into one of the back rooms, and the door was closed, and there was a moment of silence before I was told that I was one of 3 air-breathing mammals to know who the killer was. And I won't say specifically what I was told, but I can tell you that I was then one of 3 smiling people in that room. I was given a list of characters to create in the diary, and I was given a semblance of ideas, certainly about where the show was going to go. But the beauty of it was that, in fact, in the same meeting during which I was told who the killer was to be, I was given so much creative freedom, and I was just told basically these are the people that we need to have mentioned, and do with them what you will. So it was a real gift. I mean, I really got to build Laura as I wanted to. It was a good feeling.
They gave her full freedom. They gave her no constrictions. She says, she's like, they gave me whatever I wanted to do. Jennifer Lynch in this interview says, people have said to her, is this some of these stories based off your life? Or, she goes, there's 2. And one of them I can't tell you. But one of them is the dream about the rat. And how Laura chews off her foot, or she cuts off her foot before the rat could do it. She said, I've had that dream. That was my dream.
Wow.
But she doesn't indulge us with the other one.
Right.
She goes, there's 2, but I can only tell you one.
The mystery.
Have you ever heard that?
Oh
or
yeah, I've heard.
Have you heard?
I've heard her say that, and to this day, she has still never told us what that other one. Not that I don't even know if I want to know, because some of the stuff in that book is, very sexual, very disturbing.
Yeah.
So if it is anything related to that, I don't think I want to know.
And she looks so much like her dad.
Oh yeah.
And it's just really funny.
Yeah.
And what a talented woman. And
she is.
You had Todd Holland, who was a director in season 2. You have Zoe Deschanel's dad, Caleb Deschanel, talks about how he came up with the whole flashlight dance.
With Ben and Jerry there.
Yeah.
When they're reminiscing about the days when they were young.
That was Fincher's sister, David Fincher's sister, and she would hang around there, but didn't have anybody to do it. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's cool.
Dwayne Dunham.
Started off as an editor with Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
We talked about the story before, that he basically became a director because he agreed with Lynch that he would edit Wild at Heart. In return, Lynch let him direct the first episode of Twin Peaks.
And then you have Tim Hunter, who directed some episodes, and Stephen Gyllenhaal, another famous father. Those are all great interviews.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
You gotta watch them. Disc 8. So we're getting close to the end here. There's an interesting documentary called Creating Twin Peaks: Secrets from Another Place.
Right. Secrets from Another Place, Creating Twin Peaks.
And so what this is it has a series of little tiny vignettes about the making of the pilot, season 1, music starring Angelo Badalamenti, and a little vignette about the making of season 2. All 4 of those together is an hour and a half.
Wow.
Now, I sat down for almost 6 hours. I don't know if I could have sat down for added another hour and a half to that. So I got a taste of these. I got to go back and watch these.
Yep.
But they're well worth it. And then this takes us to disc 9. Now, disc 9 is Fire Walk with Me. We got the movie on there. We got the missing pieces, which we've already discussed. But it's got archive interviews. They're very short and sweet. You have Ray Wise, Cheryl Lee, Maura Kelly, who's Donna number 2, my favorite Donna, and Machen Amick talking about Fire Walk with Me, which is interesting because Machen Amick is barely in it. Donna number 2 was kind of cool to see something from her. And it's like almost like little things you would see nowadays where someone's talking, they're talking about the film to promote it.
Right.
Because she's talking to a reporter, it looks like, and they're like, oh, what do you think about the movie? She's like, oh, you're going to love it. It's just crazy. You know, like, they're just saying things for promotion. Like promotional spots. So this takes us to the gem.
The gem.
The gem of the box set, disc number 10, which we're going to go into it Between Two Worlds. David Lynch talks with Sarah Leland and Laura Palmer. It's interesting because it starts off in color, and David Lynch introduces them, and it goes into black and white. And then David Lynch talks to these characters. He resurrected them from the dead.
This is a really beautiful day, a very interesting time, and an interesting turn of events. I'm sitting here with the Palmer family. Leland Palmer, Sarah Palmer, and Laura Palmer.
And it was kind of depressing. And I can't remember who said this to us.
Maybe Joel.
It was Joel.
Yep. When we saw this on the Blu-ray, I thought, well, this is the end of Twin Peaks. This is the last we'll ever get of footage.
Yeah, me too. And it was kind of perplexing in that sense.
Yeah.
Actually, I know Cameron, who does the Obnoxious and Anonymous podcast, he said he didn't even watch it because he's like, I don't want the last piece of Twin Peaks to be the actor sitting in a restaurant in L.A. with David Lynch.
At this moment, this was going to be the last thing you'd ever see of Twin Peaks in this world. And if this was depressing, I didn't want my last memories to be this. And I could see why.
I love the format where, like, we were in another world, like, where David Lynch is sitting down with these characters, and he's like, yeah, he's just, like, he wants to, like, see where are they now.
And Sarah, I'd like to start with you because you're still living. Are you still living in Twin Peaks?
Yes.
In the same house?
Yes.
Have you remarried, or are you with anyone?
I'm alone.
Could you tell us how life is for you now and share with us some memories or feelings of your time when you were with your husband and your daughter?
Now, well, it's about the same, I guess. I mean, obviously, it's not. But the house is basically the same. There are lots of things falling apart.
It's funny, it's 25 years later, but she's still like really depressed, and she tries to put on a show and smile when she goes to the grocery store, but she's really miserable. I mean, and she's alone, like she said, oh, I didn't remarry and I'm still kind of by myself.
The house is falling apart.
Yeah.
So I just picture this old lady.
In Gothism, they talk about the house representing the person, and it's like the idea that the house is falling apart. You're really talking about yourself, is that like I'm falling apart.
The foundation is cracked.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then you get into Leland and...
Leland, you've been dead for around 25 years now. And I'd like to ask you how things are for you now, and what are your feelings and memories of your wife, Sarah, and your daughter, Laura?
Well, I'm not sure that I can explain the now, but I have memories. Really, the fondest of memories of Sarah and Laura. I think I love them more than anyone ever. Sarah, especially in the beginning, I was head over heels in love. Beguiling she was. With that crazy laugh. Yeah. I remember the happy moments in the house. And later, as things sometimes do, changes. Meetings with different people. I started seeing girls. Some of them even as young as my daughter. Younger. But the love was still there. Burning. The love of family. So it's hard to believe, but it was there. It was so dark then. And the things that were being done, they were not done by me. I did not do those things. Laura was my princess.
He's still not owning up to doing these acts. Like he says that like, oh, there were good times and then there were bad times, but he's like, this wasn't my fault. This wasn't me. He doesn't say Bob, but he basically still not owning that this had anything to do with him.
But he does say, he goes, I was seeing girls younger than myself, some girls that were 18.
No, younger than his daughter.
Yeah, you're younger than his daughter. But his love for his family never faltered. And that was his, this really still, having Leland talk to David Lynch like this, it kind of breaks the narrative, is interesting because it's a character beyond his death we never got to talk to. We saw him once in the Red Room, but
last episode.
Yeah, but he's like, I didn't kill her. It wasn't me.
That was kind of a mocking one, too. Like, I did not kill anybody.
I always felt that was the evil Leland, obviously, because the good Leland died because the evil one escaped. The owl took off.
Yeah.
His spirit. Or the evil spirit. And yeah, it is kind of crazy. It still doesn't give you a definitive answer about anything. It really makes it more confusing.
And then we get to Laura.
Laura, you've also been dead for over 25 years. And I'd like to ask you, what is life for you now? And what are your feelings and thoughts, memories of your time with your mother and father?
There's a lot of things that people don't know. It's the same way with me. Sometimes even much less than half is known. Sometimes more. I used to love horses. Many things happened. Many things all at once, like a circus with dark creatures at night with flickering lights, and I knew a man named Bob. And when he came to visit me, I knew that my life was over. And then there was a time when I cried because I was so happy. Because I saw what it was. And it was so beautiful. I was awake. There are still questions. Questions about the truth of it all. I meet many people with no names.
Bless your heart, Laura.
And she's the most mysterious. And us as fans, maybe we should have realized this wasn't the end of Twin Peaks, because it is a whole new mystery out there. Laura starts off by saying there's a lot of things that people don't know. Oh, there's something we don't know about her. And she ends it, Laura says, there are still questions about the truth of all of it. I met many people with no names. And I love David Lynch ending with, bless your heart, Laura.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so there's
Cryptic.
very cryptic. So it's like you think you know everything about Laura, but there's more out there. And like, I saw this, and when we saw the Blu-ray, I was like, oh, this is how it's gonna end. We're just gonna believe that like there's something more to it, and not realizing that Twin Peaks was coming back.
Yeah, what she does say does leave you like, what? And so this is what people have been saying, that after we found out it's coming back for season 3, that it was very cryptic. People kind of dug into that, right?
Yeah, and Laura, out of the three of them, Laura, Sarah, and Leland, Laura doesn't really smile. I mean, there isn't a lot of emotion there, and you feel like there's still pain and uncertainty, and that things haven't been resolved.
And did you notice when they go back into them just talking,
the
actors, Ray Wise, he does say something interesting.
But I would also like to work one more time with David, somewhere along the line, and with both of you somewhere along the line, and then maybe the circle will be complete.
Beautiful.
Working with you guys would really complete the circle. And
Ah.
I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Because circles and Twin Peaks, we've always discussed this, and the way he said that, and they laugh.
Yeah.
It's like they know something.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, that is the gem of this Blu-ray. I mean,
besides the deleted scenes.
Oh yeah.
Firewall,
I'm
but
saying
you're right.
bonus
Extras,
scenes,
right,
extras.
the
Yeah,
extras,
this is like you watch all this stuff and you get to this and you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
it's so haunting. And David Lynch is so clever, and just to say, hey, let's talk to these characters for 10 minutes. And I want to know, okay, you have the script there, but was that scripted out? Did David Lynch just say what you want to say about your characters? I'm really interested in knowing about that.
He brought these actors, and that day he handed out scripts for them to look at.
Oh,
so I mean, I think they didn't know about this scene and everything until that. So they had probably, a very short period of time to look over the script and tell their lines. But it
seemed natural.
It seemed natural, but it was scripted. Lynch, I believe, scripted it all out and handed out pages. I mean, the people that were even, the director and people working on this didn't even know Lynch was going to come in with a script.
So, in theory, they might not have known the idea of season 3 was in his head. They just read the script, and maybe they didn't know.
Right.
Maybe they said this and thought nothing of it.
At that time, though, Ray Wise seemed to keep hinting that Twin Peaks was coming back. So the
Fair
3,
enough.
I feel like Ray Wise might have known. But so I maybe give you a little more backstory I think is really interesting. It's that casting call. Twin Peaks promo, directed by David Lynch, shooting in Los Angeles on Tuesday, January 7th, 2014. Probably a 6-hour or less day. Hot Cajun girl, brunette or redheads only, to play waitress. Age 18 to 27. Must have an amazing body.
What?
And so people didn't know what was going on. It was like, was Twin Peaks coming back? Like first they thought it was actually some new Twin Peaks show or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was later on discovered that this was just part of the Blu-ray.
If I had to pick bonuses, it is In Between Two Worlds.
Yes.
And The Missing Pieces for bonuses.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite box sets. I don't think I'm one of those people who was like, oh, cool, a box set, and I buy it, and then I generally won't watch anything for a while. But this, I feel like I could just keep going back to it.
So unfortunately, I think there's 2 things missing from this, at least for me, from this Blu-ray that I wish they had. And I mean, I think they could have had trouble getting access to it. So the 2 I wished it was on the Blu-ray to complete the entire mystery, or just to complete it, would be the Saturday Night Live sketch Kyle MacLachlan was on.
That would be rights from NBC. This was a CBS product.
Right. So it was on the gold box.
Oh wow.
That's what I mean. So at one point in one of our collections in the gold box, I believe it's on that.
So rights might have ran out for them to have it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other one is the Georgia Coffee ads.
You're right. Those weren't in here.
Right. And they were on the I think they were on the gold box as well. So those are probably the only 2 I wish could have been on the Blu-ray. And,
that's a shame.
Maybe when we maybe on our next Blu-ray edition, or when they put out the new series, they can add that, or
who knows?
So Charles De La Rica, he produced this, and he does a great job.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like, it's amazing the quality that he does in this. And like, I love, I don't know, we can talk about it for a second, the menus. Like, there's music in the menu. I mean, there's sound bites in the, like, it'll be a theme of cherry pie, and you'll see all these video scenes of people eating cherry pie or talking about cherry pie, and it's just the quality is so good in the structure of this DVD.
Oh, yeah,
and like
definitely.
he went around and collected all this stuff and decided what was going to be in the Blu-ray set, and it's really good. It's such, if you look at the DVDs, I'm not trying to diss the DVDs, the original DVDs, but to see that, to go to the gold box and then the Blu-ray, it's just amazing the work that they put into this. On Twitter, I think somebody asked Mark Frost, "Hey, will there be publicity for the show when it comes back?" And he did respond and say, "Yeah, there'll definitely be a lot more publicity, and it kind of like they'll pump up the media when we get closer."
Interviews and stuff.
Well, because we know it's coming. It's not like a surprise, like when the show came back, or even the Missing Pieces came out, and then all of a sudden there was all this buzz. It's like we know that there's like a date on we don't know the exact date, but we know there's a date on the horizon. They did the Between Two Worlds thing for the Blu-ray. I mean, basically the last line of the interview, other than what Lynch himself says, is this weirdly ambiguous line. And I remember John Thorne and I were talking about it. We were trying to figure out, like, what does that mean, this and that. And then, like, we talked again after the announcement of the Showtime thing, and we're like, oh, well, all it meant was that the show was coming back. Like, we were like making this big, metaphysical thing, or at least I was, like, this big metaphysical thing of like, what could she mean by this statement, and what is Lynch trying to, or is there anything, is it just dream imagery? And it was like, no, it was pretty much like as close as Lynch, in his like Lynch poetic way would get to just being like, hey, the show's coming back. That's basically what it is. Pretty funny.
Thanks again to Silencio. You can find both their albums on iTunes and Apple Music, CD Baby, Amazon, and more.
You can contact us on Facebook, Twin Peaks Unwrapped. We're on Twitter, Twin Peaks Unwrapped. And please, if we forgot something, or if you have your favorite stuff from the Twin Peaks box set and you want to let us know what it was, please email us at twinpeaksunwrapped@gmail.com.
My favorites are still the deleted scenes. I waited 25 years, almost 25 years for those deleted scenes. I was so happy to see the Red Room with Kyle MacLachlan, to see Cooper and the little man from another place. So that still is the best out of the Blu-ray.
That's awesome. All right, Ben, we are out of here.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
Diane, on the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my sweetheart gave to me
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
Diane, on the 8th day of Christmas, I had a strange dream. 8 dancing midgets.
7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts. Sorry. Oops.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 owls lurking.
8 dancing midgets.
7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 drooling Leos.
9 owls lurking.
8 dancing midgets.
7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 cherry pies.
10 drooling Leos.
9 owls lurking.
8 dancing midgets.
7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5 jelly donuts.
4 talking logs.
3 possessed souls.
2 secret diaries.
And a body dead, wrapped in plastic. On the 12th day of Christmas, my sweetheart gave to me 12 cups of coffee.
11 cherry pies.
10 drooling Leos.
9 owls lurking.
8 dancing midgets.
7 one-armed men.
6 fish in a percolator.
5
4 talking logs,
3 possessed souls,
2 secret diaries,
and a body, dead, wrapped in plastic.
Amen. Amen.